everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. Today is Saturday, okay? It's October 28th, and I believe yesterday, Dragonforce, Amaranthe, Nanowar, Steel, and Edge of Paradise played a sold-out show in Orlando, Florida. Today, I'm not sure where they are today, but I will tell you this. Last Wednesday, October 25th, were two very important days. Number one, it was my birthday. And number two, I got to see this band live. All four of these bands at this live performance at the House of Blues in Houston. I'm going to give you all the details of the amazing day right after this. In the YouTube reaction system, certain videos must be reacted to by highly trained specialists. Unfortunately, we only have this idiot. Okay, so I got this poster, okay, to commemorate the day. October 25th, House of Blues, Houston, Texas, Dragonforce, Amaranthe, Nanowar of Steel, Edge of Paradise. There you go. All right, so the day started early, went out, got my coffee. Chelsea and I have a B&B that we stay at when we're in Houston for concerts. It's right there downtown, really close to everything. Went to this place called the Retrospect Coffee House in Midtown Houston. Outstanding coffee. I highly recommend them. They do amazing crepes for breakfast starting up at 9. They used to be a fueling station, one of those old gas stations that opened up in the 1920s. Yes. And for 100 years it was there. And then now it is a coffee house, and it's actually pretty good. So I do want to get some information for you guys. Okay, so we got our stuff done. I did my morning promo. You guys probably saw that. We planned on being at the venue around 3:34. We knew that the meet and greet for Dragonforce was scheduled for 5. Box office opens up at 4:30, and then I think doors were at 6. Everything was about 30 minutes late. Now that has nothing to do with Dragonforce or any of them. There were some problems technically. I don't know what they were exactly, but I do know that Nanowar Steel had a sound check that ran for over an hour and 20 minutes. Like, they were having a lot of problems with the sync up with the house system and their system and their board. Their technicians were screaming in Italian, and the guys from Nanowar Steel were going, okay. So that kind of worked out really well. If you've ever been to the House of Blues in Houston, it is a very weird venue because it's on the 3rd story of a larger building, okay? So the House of Blues, not a great venue. I'm sorry, House of Blues, Houston. If you're a music venue fan, may not be the best venue for that, like for a metal show. But if you were to go see like a performing arts or a comedian or a smaller venue or jazz, contemporary music, that kind of stuff, it'd be a great venue. But there's not enough room on the floor for the metal crowd per se. Literally they redid it, and half of the floor is VIP seating, and then there's like the sound area, and then there's like 1/3 of the room is just for the front stage open area for people to stand around and watch music. The rest of it's merch and food. They have a balcony, which is pretty cool. But of all the music venues I've been to, it's probably the least metal music venue. This is going to be my 3rd metal concert there. Now, the layout inside the building is not the best that I've seen for a metal show. However, the staff is outstanding. The AC is pretty much on tap. The food, the drinks, the service, the access, pretty top notch. Okay, so I'm not gonna try to dip it. Okay, luckily I know that since it's a House of Blues, Live Nation does own it. They also own another venue in Houston that's a little bit bigger. So I know that there's a lot of bands that'll play it like the House of Blues in Houston, and then if they get bigger, they may go to the Bayou Music Center on the theater district. That'll hold about 3,000 people. So it is a little bit different. Now, I do want to give some shout outs real quick. There's a woman who works in the ticket booth of the House of Blues in the ticket office. I didn't get your name, ma'am. I am so sorry, but you were wearing that Raging Cajun t-shirt, and I love you. because she found our guest tickets that have been left for us, and nobody else can seem to find them, but she did. So you are amazing, ma'am. Also, there's a guy named Tyler. Tyler is a black man with a nice epic beard, sweet guy, and he will handle anything you got going on. If you have a guest relations issue, he's running around helping people out, making people make sure they're having a great time. He's always looking for people to help. So Tyler, this is like the third time I've seen you at a show at the House of Blues, and I got to tell you, that guy, he recognizes me. He's like, dude, welcome back. Come on in. Hey, Miss Chelsea. He's super awesome. So have to give Tyler the shout out this time. Okay, enough about the venue. Okay, so Chelsea and I go have Korean barbecue. If you saw my YouTube post or my Instagram post, they did sing happy birthday to me. It was tragic, but it was fun. And we got ourselves ready, went to the venue. Now, when we got to the venue, you guys know that I bring these plates. Now, I brought 4, but I didn't bring one for Dragonforce. Theirs is right there. They're one of the first plates I ever got. This part of the story will come in heavily later, and a confused Herman Lee rears his ugly head in the next part that I'm going to tell you about. So we're waiting. A lot of my friends, a lot of you that have come and met us at other shows, Brandon was out there, Dennis was out there, a few people a few people that know me from my channel. You guys met me out there. I gave you guys magnets and stickers, told you guys hello, and we had a great time. But while we were waiting to get the box office to open so I could get my passes and stuff, Marc Hudson walks up. Coffee in his hand, backpack, wrong door. At the House of Blues Houston, there's a loading dock 3. It's on the Caroline Street backside of the building. Artists are supposed to go through a door there with their access pass. A lot of them don't know this. The number of people from bands that I know that they know me from here, from YouTube, and they're like, old school, where do I go to get in the building? I got you. And I'll bring them there. This also comes into play a little bit later because I helped 3 different people try to find people around the venue. Come up to Marc. I show Marc his plate. He's excited. He takes a picture for his phone because he wants it before everyone else shows up. Even though he was at the wrong door, it wasn't the meet and greet and everything else, but there were a few people that literally lost their minds for Marc. Not so much that he was the lead singer of Dragonforce, which everyone knew him from that, and they were pretty excited about that. There was one couple and one woman specifically loves his solo album, right? And there's a bonus track on the album that's in Japanese, and she's from Japan, and she was just so excited. And of course, that makes Marc excited. So Marc took pictures with those people, even though it wasn't the meet and greet, and I get him inside the building. So he gets inside the building. And then it's time to do the meet and greet with Dragonforce. Now, when you go in for the meet and greet, you get a lanyard, you get a swag bag, they'll get some Dragonforce pins, some pics, a yo-yo. They always do something weird. This year, it's the yo-yo. You'll get a Dragonforce poster that they will sign. Last year, the Dragonforce poster looked like this. This year, it's a colored poster with the dragon samurai holding his sword with the dragon behind him. That's pretty cool. And so we get in line, and the way they set up the VIP to meet Dragonforce is probably one of the better VIPs I've ever been to. I've done quite a few meet and greets with bands, either because I'm a guest or I just buy them because I want to meet the guys. Dragonforce is something really cool. First, you'll get in line, and they will sign up to 3 items that you want, each person, okay? They'll sign the poster, they'll sign your VIP tag, they'll sign whatever you want. I had them sign the poster, my VIP tag, and we did some fun with Marc's plate. So, and then after that, they have you go around to the merch area, and you get first dibs on all the Dragonforce merch. So if there's any sizes that they might run short on, they got you covered. You're first. Then you get back in line, they move the table, they move the pins, they move the chairs, and then Dragonforce will do a pose with everyone. Last year, you guys know that we did the Enchantment Under the Sea prom pose with everyone, where everyone was like doing the prom pose where you have your date in front of you and you kind of, yeah. We did that. That one was fun. We did a special one for this year, but I can't show it to anybody until March of next year. And for everyone who knows what comes in March, all of Dragonforce knows what we're doing. And some of you might know, but it's something special for everyone. It involves Dragonforce, and it's a big special announcement for everyone. That comes out next year in March. Yes, so now you got to wait 7 months to hear what the hell we did with our Dragonforce pose. So everyone, not only do you get to take a picture with the band, but if you have a creative, funny idea on what pose you want them to do, they'll do anything. It's hilarious. G remembered me. Thank you, G. I love you, guy. Of course, Marc knew who I was because we've been talking. Herman remembered me from the last time, and he does remember my Zelda reaction, and he remembers the Doomsday Party reaction. He thought they were great. He said, thank you so much for making the videos. I know it's a lot of hard work. I remembered Alicia's name this time. That was really embarrassing. When I saw them in 2022 in Houston at the warehouse, it was the first time Alicia was there. I had never met her before. And I was meeting a lot of bands for the first time ever, including a band called Seven Spire. Remember that name too. So Adrian Cohen, the lead singer of Seven Spire, I had just met her. And I tried to make such an impression to remember the names of Seven Spire so I didn't embarrass myself, that when I got up to Alicia, I called her Adrian. Not a good look. Anyway, when I said, and I remember that your name is Adrian, Alicia this time, she goes, oh my God, now I remember. Thank you. And the funny thing about it was, once I did that, she started following me on Instagram. Then she went back in time and started liking all the posts from before. She's such a sweetheart. And we're going to talk about Alicia a little bit later in this video when we talk about the Dragonforce performance. Because by the way, I'm letting you know now, Alicia is key to Dragonforce on the new album and in the live shows. So if people are wondering, does she have an extended role in what they're going on? No, she has a huge role in the live shows. I'm gonna tell you about it here in a little bit. Okay. So then we talked to Marc, we talked to Herman. Herman says, dude, thank you so much for making all your videos. I know how much work that is. I said, I bet you do, man. You make a lot of videos yourself. He's laughing. Yeah, it never stops for me. And Sam's sitting next to him, and Sam rolls his eyes. Because Sam's a dude, Sam Totman is the most hilarious character you've ever met. Because he seems like he could give two shits about anybody. He is a lovely person. Okay, it's all that little, I don't care, pass my beer, drink my beer, play real good. And that's just his character. He's a wonderful guy. So I after Herman told me, you know, he told me how hard it was to make videos, how much time it takes, and it does take a lot of time. There's no lie about that. Then I make the mistake of opening my mouth, which I do a lot, by the way. Sorry. And I say, yeah, I don't even know how you have any free time at all, Herman. I said, what do you do with your free time, Sam? And I don't know why I said that, but without missing a beat, Sam goes, I gotta write all these fucking songs. It's true. Okay, if you think about it, when would Sam have time to do anything else? Could you imagine what the sheet music and the composition of Dragonforce music would be? No, you can't. And he writes it. So yeah, it's a full-time job. So let's get to Marc Hudson's plate, okay? So this is Marc Hudson's plate. This is Marc's signature. Marc, we got him on his own plate because he released an album with videos. We react to the videos, which means if I react to your video and I go see you live, and I'll make you a plate. So I made Marc a plate for his Starlight Stories album. And then I told everybody on Dragonforce to write him a note on the back that Marc will see it there, but he won't. So G writes, good job, bro. Sam just fucking signs it because it's Sam. Alicia puts XOXO heart, yay, Marc. Now, this is actually Herman Lee's signature, but it's not the first thing he did. Okay? We tried to get him to understand that he was signing the back of the plate, that it was Marc's plate, and Marc was going to sign the front of it. Herman didn't understand. He was halfway through his signature, and everyone, Alicia, Marc, they were all like, no! But he had already started signing it, and I said, guys, it's okay. It's the first thing he's ever done that wasn't perfect in his life. That made Marc laugh. And I said, think about it, Marc. Every time we look at your plate, we're going to remember that Herman couldn't follow simple instructions. That made Marc super happy. So there's the Marc plate with Marc's signature and the H, the E, and I think looks, it's part, anyway. The start of Herman's signature, Marc's signature, the Marc plate. Okay, so we get our stuff signed, we go through the merch. Chelsea gets an amazing Dragonforce t-shirt, and they didn't have it in a 2X. Guys, you're 4 shows in and you ain't got the big boy stuff? Come on, help us out. So, but it's okay. Then we took our photo, and then we went outside. We had to wait outside with everybody else while they did the queuing and everything else. Okay, quick backup. As we were coming in to do the meet and greet with Dragonforce, it's 5 o'clock. When we walk in, Nanowar Steel is on stage. Gato is all the way stage left, audience right, with his bass. I look at him like, what's up, sucker? He looks at me and he goes, dude! He immediately recognized, he goes, I'm so happy to see you live. I said, I'm so happy to see you guys live. And then, of course, Chelsea goes, I never tell him I'm excited to see him live. Great joke, honey. Good job. Right off the bat. And then they were still doing sound check. What was really weird was we walked in at 5:15. They were doing sound check at 6:45. The doors were open. Everyone was in the building. They were still on stage trying to get their sound checks finished up. It was important to them. And believe me, if you saw any of the videos from the show, their stuff was amazing, so they could take as long as they wanted to. Okay. Let's talk about the bands. Okay, first band up. Oh, real quick before I talk about the bands. So I saw where they had Dragonforce's bus, and I saw they had Amaranthe's bus on the other side of the building, which means Amaranthe had the longest walk to get to the door. And I brought all of our merch that they had signed back to the car. And I came back with just the plates to have signed, right? So on my way back, I see Nils from Amaranthe, the melodic power singer. Yes, one of the lead singers of the band. It's Michael, Nils, and Elise. And then, of course, Nils jumped out of their bus and was walking towards the door. He's walking in the same direction I'm walking. But I'm also one of those people, if a band member looks at me and goes, hey, old school, how's it going, man? They start talking to me, I will talk to them. But I am not the person that will go, hey, Nils. I will not bother an artist when they're trying to do their work. It's just, I don't want to be that guy, right? We're trying to be cool here. So he's walking, I'm right behind him. He turns the corner to go to the door the artists go in, and the guy that's supposed to be working the door is not there. There's nobody out there. So here's Nils standing outside the House of Blues, the cargo entrance. And he's just kind of looking around. His hair is huge. He's got his skinny jeans on. He's got his metal shirt on. And he's just standing there. And I was like, Nils, do you know where to go? And he's like, dude, I thought the door was right here. It's right here, but the guy's not here. Hold on one second. And I was going to call. I was going to message Morton inside because I had messaged Morton on Instagram earlier. I was going to tell Morton, hey, Nils is out here with me. Can you open the door for him? He's the only person I knew that I could message from Amaranthe. At the same time, I'm going to message Morton to come let Nils in the building. Alicia comes out to make a phone call. Alicia comes out, I'm like, Alicia, thank God you saved the day. She goes, of course. I said, Nils can't get in. She looks back at the guy who's supposed to be outside of the door, and she goes, hey, he needs to get in. He needs to be in here. And so the guy lets him in. She comes out, and I said, you saved us again. You're a hero. She goes, I try. And apparently she goes, I loved you guys' picture. Thank you guys so much for coming back. I do remember you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Sweetheart, complete sweetheart. And then so I start walking to the end of the building to turn to go to the entrance where everyone's waiting to get inside. As I turn the corner, I almost run into Margarita Monet from Edge of Paradise in full green neon black costume, hair, makeup, microphone in her hand, outside on the sidewalk with her phone. And she's got this, you would say it's like stage nerves, like amped up for a show, but there's a little bit of panic in her voice. And I'm like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? She goes, I can't find my parents. Miss Monet is from Houston. All of her family and all of her friends were coming to the show that night. She told her family where to meet her, but she was afraid that they misunderstood and she couldn't find them. So I said, look, I'll help you find them. I don't know what they look like, but there's no way I'm letting you walk around in all green and black with wings and a microphone and your hair on the sidewalk downtown in Houston by yourself. I'll walk with you. We'll find them. Thank you so much, old school. Okay, no problem. So we start walking and I said, well, where'd you tell them to meet you? And she says, my parents said to go, that they're standing by the stairs. And she explained it. I said, I know exactly where they are. So I took them down. We walked around the corner and her mom comes running to her and her dad, super smile on his face. I guess it might've been her sister, her younger sister was with them and they were all doing hugs. I shook her dad's hand and I met up with him later after the show. Great guy. Miss Monet, your dad is so proud of you. You have no idea. That is the proudest man I've ever seen. He knows how hard you work and he is the proudest papa I've ever seen. His eyes look like my eyes when I look at my kids when they do something awesome. So I know that look. So we finally get up, we get into the venue, and it is now time for Edge of Paradise. So Edge of Paradise comes out, and they had some struggles at first. Not musically, technically, okay? Their lead guitarist, probably the heaviest sound they have, his unit was not working. It was either a mobile unit, the pickup, the connection from his inline into the snake back to the board. Somewhere in there was a loss of signal. He couldn't, and I think it might have been his remote module that's on the stage that connects to the board and the stage unit. I think that was not connected properly because not only did he not have signal to the board for his guitar to be in the PA, but he couldn't hear his in-ears, which means more than likely the feed to the system was not working. Which means if it had just been the monitor, it would have been a problem either with his battery pack, battery, signal, antenna might be unscrewed, in-ear cable problem, or the CAD unit that catches his signal to the stage unit. I think there was a problem with the stage unit because he could not hear his guitar and we couldn't hear him at all. So through pretty much most of the first song, it was just the other guitarist, bass, drums, and Miss Monet doing the song. Here's the thing. Nobody noticed. Nobody was like, oh, this doesn't sound right. No, they were thunderous without him. And it sounded amazing without him. Her voice is like a songbird. Clear, crisp. Also, hats off to the drummer of Edge of Paradise. That dude works hard. Not only is he a monster on the drums, but he hits with authority. Kind of reminds me of a young Taylor Hawkins. That's some high praise. Now, I'm not saying he plays like Taylor. You know that look, that the way he would just move his arms, the way Taylor would just, it looked like he was doing carpentry work more than he was playing the drums. Yeah, he has that vibe. You can see it, the energy. Here's the thing. He's also running all the stage tracks, all the back tracks, all the overlays. He's got everything running from that point because he's setting the cue for the set. And I cannot give Edge of Paradise enough praise for 3 reasons. Number one, their musicianship is super high level, and that's outstanding. Number two, their reaction to the adversity of the lead guitarist not having his unit on, they were unfazed. They kept focus with each other, with the crowd, and they gave him time to take care of it. By the time it was time for the reprisal chorus of that song, he was back in and he was loud. Yes, he came back with a vengeance and it was awesome. Number 3, they had maybe about 2.5 feet from where they were standing to the front of the stage, and they were really tight in. The House of Blues stage in Houston is small to begin with for a stage. It is small for a rock metal venue stage. You have all of Dragonforce's production against the back wall. You have G's drum set in front of that. Then you have a riser with Morton's stuff above that, in front of that. So in front of Morton's kit, you now have about 2.5 feet between the front of his riser till there's a platform you can stand on, and then it's the audience drop off. And then for a Dragonforce show, you know they have the giant arcade cabinets on either side of the stage, which are not just showing you a bunch of video game footage from your favorite video games from arcade days. They're also walk-up stairways where the Marc can go up there and sing, and Herman and Sam can go up there and do dueling guitars from the top of the arcade boxes. If you've ever seen a Dragonforce show, they do that. Okay, so you can imagine there's very little space. The drums have to be tucked off to the side stage of Morton's set from Amaranthe, and not on a riser. It's on the floor. So it's a very tight setup. They handled it beautifully. Okay? They handled the lack of space beautifully. Kept it tight. And then after their set, I did speak to them. They were super appreciative of our reactions and your feedback that you guys give them from my community. But also they want to know how they sounded and how they could be better. And I'm like, why are you asking me? They're like, because you're a fan, but you also understand the music. And I said, I do. I said, don't change a thing musically. You guys are so good musically. Everything is it sounds so great. I said, I could tell that you guys were a little flummoxed at how little space you have. So they kind of felt cramped a little bit on stage. That's not them. They're the first up on a bill of 4 mega performing bands, and they were amazing. So I told them, really, the only thing you got to do is be more comfortable, but I don't know how you can do that when you're standing literally on, a tiny little area, but they did amazingly well. So that was Edge of Paradise. They're definitely going on the wall, okay? Second band up. Holy crap. All right. I've done reactions. I've done interviews. We've laughed. We've cried. We've said, what the hell is this? I have seen videos of these guys live. I've seen videos of these guys, of their music videos. I've listened to songs. I've laughed. And that's all well and good. Okay? You have bands like Ailstorm. You have bands like Steel Panther. Back in the 90s, we had Bare Naked Ladies from Canada. You have those bands that are rock, or in this case, metal bands, but they are comedy. They are parody. They are hilarious. For what Bare Naked Ladies and Weird Al Yankovic did for pop music, you have bands like Ailstorm, Steel Panther, and Nanowar of Steel from Italy, bringing it the funny. And I have enjoyed their music, not only from a storyboard perspective and the hilarity of it, but I've caught that their music is really well done, like well composed and arranged. Now that I've said all that, if you get a chance to go see Dragonforce, make sure that you're there early for 2 reasons. Number 1, to see Edge of Paradise. You don't want to miss that. But you want to get a good shot of these fucking assholes here. Yes, I said it and they know it, and I love them for it. Okay. And I mean it in the best way possible. These a-holes are the most loving, gifting, amazing guys I've ever met. First up, I've met some amazing people. Tommy Johansson, probably the greatest person that shouldn't give a crap about me, but gave me all the time in the world and his undivided attention now for almost 2 years. I'll never forget Tommy, because he's an example for me on how I need to treat other people. But these guys, for never meeting them, for knowing very little about them, these guys were awesome. They get on stage, and I'm not going to give away all their secrets, okay? But let me tell you this. You need to know the song Sober. You need to know the song Papa Johnny. You need to know the song Uranus. You need to know the song Valhallelujah. There's a lot of songs that you need to know and understand before you see these bands. But if you don't, it's okay. They will explain it to you. Holy crap. So the first song out of the gate was Uranus. And I was standing next to Margarita Monet. I was talking to her and all of her family and friends were around her. They were so excited. I was taking pictures of her and her family and friends. I was the guy taking the pictures for them so they didn't have to take selfies. I was just helping out. And I laughed because they were, okay, so they get up on stage and they're describing their set by the opening of the song Uranus by letting one of them introduce the song by talking through his ass cheeks into a microphone. While this is going on, Margarita Monet's family is looking like at the stage, and she was like, I warned them the band after us is hilarious and it's a little bit crazy. I was like, they weren't paying attention. But yeah, okay. So when they came out, when they said, who's like, at the end of Edge of Paradise's set, Margarita Monet asked the crowd, like all great performers do, she asked them, who's ready to see Dragonforce? And 3/4 of the crowd screamed very loudly. Typical. She said, and who's ready for the mighty Amaranth? And the same amount of people screamed, yeah. When she said, and don't forget, Nanowar of Steel. And there was about 6 of us, including me, going, yay! Okay. When they were done, nobody will forget them. Holy crap. From Uranus to Papa Johnny to Valhallelujah, every song, they had every person at audience dancing, waving, doing hand motions, flapping like a bird, praising the all-powerful Odin, cheering when he created the IKEA table and started gospel dancing with. The crowd responded. And if you have someone, whether they love metal or they don't love metal, these guys are so damn entertaining. They did the Call of Cthulhu. Came out full Cthulhu mask, the whole bang. Air humping as Cthulhu. Dude, I'm telling you, it was one of the funniest shows, most entertaining, but at the same time, these guys can play. Like, they can literally throw down music. I should have been expecting it, and I technically was expecting it. But by the end of that, I was just stand clapping. When they came back and they told me that they were going to come out after Dragonforce, they didn't want to come out and interrupt anything. Also, come to find out, Mr. Baffo had a job to do. By the way, he did sign it. His name actually makes an appendage with little hearts shooting out of the tip. He did that. So, yeah. Yeah. These guys, incredible. And after the show, we hung out with them. They were so sweet. They were so awesome. They were so gracious and happy. They kept telling me thank you and hugging me, and all I did was make some reactions to their funny songs. But then I realized something. It's really, they don't have a huge American audience like they do in Europe. So for them to come over here, they know that people like myself and Tori Reacts and Tank and all the guys who have done reactions to them here in the US to show them the US audience, I'm going to say that it helps them. But at the end of this set, I told Gato, I said, dude, you guys came out there and there may have been 10, 20, 25% of the people that know your music in the audience. But by the time you guys are done, 100% was ready for more. Like when they were done, the crowd gave them a standing ovation until Amaranthe came out. It was that good. They were that amazingly entertaining. So, Nanowar Steel. Even if you've seen Amaranthe a dozen times, even if you've seen Dragonforce 1,000 times, and you're like, I don't really need to see them again, you do. Even if it's just for the first two bands to appreciate what's going on there. You have an up-and-coming band, Edge of Paradise, and then you have Nanowar Steel that is literally... And I think it's because of bands like Electric Callboy, where it's okay to be funny in metal, and it's catching on. People need to laugh, man. We've had such a shitty last 4 years. I mean, we need to boost it up. Okay. Amaranthe. I have been a huge fan of Amaranthe as a band from Sweden since the first time I saw 82nd All the Way. The energy, the fun, and then whenever I saw Strong with Nur Luhimo, her joining in with that power duet, they've been on my playlist ever since. And with the new album and the new harsh vocalist, Michael, I've really, really enjoyed what they're doing on the new album. I think the album has more storytelling. The same amazing, epic metal power, hype energy to it. That it's got that dance house feel beat to it. But at the same time, it's amazing metal. But they're doing instead of it just being like some of the other stuff, where was awesome. I love their stuff. But this album, to me, really tells better stories than before. So they've had the energy. The musicianship is incredible. Oh my God, they sounded so good. They sounded so big. And realize, one guitarist, one bass, Morton God of Thunder on drums behind them. And they sounded like a full metal ensemble, like big metal. Olaf was incredible. And that guy can play. Morton ran out there like Thor, like drum kit Thor. Threw it down. Then Nils comes out, gets the show hype. Guy's got pipes. Oh my God. Of all the people that can sing, I think of Angus McSix, Tommy Johansson, and Nils. I get around those guys and I'm like, oh my God. You know, those are like ridiculously... And I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you why in a few seconds why, but let me get the intros out of the way. And Elise comes out with this long dress. Just this gorgeous black sequenced rhinestone dress with the collar, and she looks like a freaking diva. She comes out there and they start their set. Every time she leaves the stage, she comes back with less clothes. And then at the end, she's wearing this bodysuit that is covered in these crystals and metal stones that make it just shine and glitter. Just, it's shining everywhere. Such amazing energy. And then Michael comes out with the harsh vocals. The production was so well done. A lot of you guys don't know that they did pre-tour production in Hollywood, got into a real studio to get their sound right for this tour, and it shows. Holy crap, it shows. I know that Amaranthe will be co-headlining the tour with Dragonforce. I know they have underbilling with Dragonforce in the US, and that's only because Dragonforce is, you know, they're the anchor for the US audience. That's the only reason why they're like that. When they go to Europe, do not be surprised if Amaranthe closes a lot of the shows. It'll be co-billing. And they are worth that. I think the only comment that I got that was even negative is that it was so short. And Amaranthe played quite a few songs, but they have such a long album and song listing going back 10 plus years. Yeah, they could have played a lot longer. But here's the one that got me. So I start hearing this piano intro. I was like, that's strong. And I'm like, and I told Chelsea earlier that the only song they probably won't be able to do tonight is Strong because Nora's not here, you know, and I don't know if they'd be able to play it without Nora Luhimo in to do her other part. Elise is amazing, but you put them together and it's a force of nature, right? Nils sang Nora Luhimo's part of Strong. That's how good Nils is. Nils is so powerful. So I didn't realize how hard of a song Strong was until you watch Elise do that intro, the tag, and the first chorus. And at the end of it, she was like, whew. Like she was like, that was a lot. And then Nils comes up, does Nora Luhimo's part, and then they duet the rest of it. And as much as it is a bucket list to see a show where you have both Amaranthe and Battle Beast on the same bill, where you can see both of them sing that, Nora and Elise, Nils did it justice. It was amazing. I was so happy to see that song live. Every song on the set was amazing. They know how to move on a small stage. They had no problems moving around. Michael is fitting in just fine. Such power in his vocals. He knows where he needs to be. Morton is thunderous. Like I said, everybody in Amaranthe, they did their homework. They did their rehearsals. They got their pre-production done. They got their tour pre-production set in. They walked out and it looked like no problems. Like you know what? If you didn't know any better, you'd swear to God, was that taped? No, it was live and they nailed it. And the level of perfection can only be met by the next artist. And here's the thing. When we saw Camelot, we talked to Thomas Youngblood. Tori and I talked to Thomas afterwards. And we said, how excited are you to have Battle Beast opening for you? And he said, we love having Battle Beast open for us because they make us play better. Because they're so good, we can't come out and just do okay. We have to do our absolute best, otherwise it won't sound or look right because they're so amazing. Amaranthe is one of those bands. Amaranthe is so good that, yes, they should be headlining their own tours all over the world, and they are a headline band. They are a marquee band. They are that good. Holy crap. It sounds better than the album. However, they had a job, and that was to set the benchmark for Dragonforce, and they did. And they did it amazingly. And I met them after everyone left. I talked to Morton, and we did something special. You guys saw that video, but tell you how that worked out. It was pretty funny. Dragonforce. Okay. There's a few things I want to talk about Dragonforce. This video will probably be about an hour long. I'm sorry, but there's so much to talk about when you talk about Dragonforce. I have 15 minutes to talk about Dragonforce. Here we go. Same essential setup as 2022 with the arcade boxes that they can walk up and stand up on. So G comes out with that ridiculous 70,000 tons, not the cruise ship, his drum set of chrome. G was a monster. He's always been a machine behind there, and he was flawless that night. He's in the groove. Alicia comes out looking amazing. Great bass. She's fitting in so perfectly. She's a full member of that band. This isn't like, okay, we have a new bassist, everyone welcome Alicia. It's like she's like the sister of these brothers, and she is. And when I tell you why this tour and this album is really Alicia heavy in a good way, you're going to love it. Sam comes out, Herman's come out, they do their guitar intros, and as long as they've been in the game, Herman and Sam are still just as good as they've ever been. And yes, going to see Dragonforce is the best concert to bring someone who is not into metal music for it to be their first metal show. For two reasons. Well, for a few reasons, but the main reason why is because even if they don't like metal music, all you got to do is say, watch them and try to see if you can follow. That's just entertaining. I know people that aren't into metal and they're just like, how are they? But they're both doing but how do they? There's no, that's not real. That's probably said a lot the first time anybody sees Dragonforce, right? Okay? So they come out and they open up the thing. Marc comes out, super rock star Marc, does his power scream, and they're off and running. Okay? Everything is typical Dragonforce. Lots of fun, antics, and everything else. But then you see something in the back corner. Who's that guy? There's just a kid in the back corner, young guy. And his name is Billy Wilkins, okay? Now, if anybody's ever gone to Billy's channel on YouTube, he does Dragonforce covers. He does versions of Dragonforce covers. And he does them so well that Herman Lee was like, you want to collaborate? And of course, Billy does. And Billy's on tour with them, helping them with vocals and some of the guitar parts. And he's amazing. And we'll get to Billy here in a little bit. Let's talk about the chicken. This is big, the chicken, okay? So they have the Legend of the Triforce, Power of the Triforce, the Legend of Zelda, and the Power of the Triforce song is based upon Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. In that video game on the Super Nintendo, if you played it, if you walked up in the village to any chicken in the village and you bumped into it, what would happen? The chicken would lose its shit and run everywhere, right? Right? And if you did certain things, you can make a swarm of chickens come out. If you did, right? They have a giant stuffed chicken, a plush chicken. It's a very heavy duty one. And they throw it in the crowd for the crowd to throw the chicken around crowd surfing the whole time they play Power of the Triforce. Bonus points if you can get the chicken into the balcony for the audience to throw it down if your venue has a balcony. However, take care of the chicken. They only have one. Hilarious. It's so much fun. Crowd interaction is something that Dragonforce has always done really, really well. They go through some of their songs, and there's a few songs I want to talk about. Last year they did the farm simulator, and Sam comes out with the banjo with the guest shredder. This year they do something different. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but if you guys go on YouTube, Dragonforce made some funny videos last year where they did tributes to other metal bands that they love. Yeah, they have fun with that. And it involves Mr. Boffo from Nanowar Steel and Marguerite Monet from Edge of Paradise. And they guest and help do very funny things to bands that I've reacted to a lot on this channel that I love. And it's all in good, loving fun, but damn it, it is funny. And they usually have the guest shredder for that part. Now, one of the songs they play before I think the last song they play before they go off for the encore is Disco Party. Doomsday Party. I'm sorry. Disco Metal is Nanowar Steel. Doomsday Party is Dragonforce. I get confused. I was having too much fun. So during Doomsday Party, they do explain at the beginning, hey, heads up, this one's a little different from our normal stuff because it's not that fast. And it's not. It's kind of groovy and funky. And this is where Alicia comes in. Every time Alicia, the bass player, got to get up on the riser or got up on the platform in the front of the stage to showcase, the crowd went nuts. But I can tell you that two of the songs they played from the new album that is coming out were Power of the Triforce and Doomsday Party. What both of those songs have in common They're bass heavy and not just low end, just keeping up whatever G's doing. Some funky walking. And Alicia gets up on that front platform for Doomsday Party, and Herman backs up, Sam backs up, Marc steps to the back, and they let her shine. And she gets on that bass. She's walking up and down, playing high fret notes. She's not playing rhythm section. She is playing bass-focused music. And it was awesome to see. Because everyone, when they first think of Dragonforce, they think of Sam and Herman doing what they do best, which is extremely high, very extremely fast, super coordinated metal guitars. And then when you see Dragonforce live, then you say, okay, well, Marc, the singer, it's super high, super powerful. He's leading us on an epic metal journey. And then, oh my God, who's that guy behind all that chrome, just thunderous God machine drummer? To let her shine like this makes it a complete unit. And it was awesome to see. The second thing that was awesome to see is every so often, Billy Wilkins, who was the guest guitarist, Herman would bring him up to play songs that he did covers of and he knows and he sings on everything. But he'd let him shine and play Sam's parts with Herman as the dueling guitarists. And everybody in the crowd loved it. Not only because Billy can play everything. He's such a good guitarist. He's so skilled. He is like Sam, 15 years ago. When Sam was a young man, that was Billy. Billy's face when he gets to go up and play. Billy's face when he gets to get up in front with Herman. Billy grew up as a kid listening to Dragonforce. Could he ever have imagined that when he grew up, he would be on stage at Dragonforce on tour playing Herman's parts with Herman live? His face was like a 9-year-old kid when he got his first Nintendo, first Sega, first video gaming system for Christmas. That look, he had that look the whole time he was playing. That smile, you could see that smile from across the street, and he's just going and he's smiling. He's so happy, and everyone is happy for you, Billy. We are so proud of you. Billy has achieved the dream that all of us have ever had, playing Guitar Hero, trying to finish Through the Fire and Flames, trying to beat the hardest song in the game. Billy beat that. He fulfilled the dream. The crowd loves it. Then afterwards, they go for the encore. They leave. Okay, that's the end of the video. I'm not spoiling their encore. Screw you guys. No, the encore is so damn epic, you will not believe it unless you see it. And I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say it takes a good 10 minutes for them to set it up. It is such a huge encore. They have to close the curtains and they have to make noise in the building to hide what they're doing. That's how epic the encore is. I'm not spoiling. Get a ticket and go see it. Get a ticket and go freaking see it. After the show, we got a chance to meet up with Michael and Olaf and Morton at the bowling alley because they want to go do some midnight bowling, a little drinking at the bar, and we got to meet them and they signed this plate for me. Thank you guys so much. You guys did not have to do that for me. Give me time on your time off after a show when you're just trying to relax. I will never forget those things. We also made a love video to Hans Plotz, Ginny Dial, and Melissa Bonney, who are Morton's bandsmates in The Dark Side of the Moon. Wish them well. And then I told Michael how amazing he sounded, and I was so happy for him. And I wished Olaf traveling mercies and have a great tour. They're such sweet people. Every person on this tour, every person was so gracious, so happy to be to see everybody. I mean, it's just such good vibes, man. It's like I made a video earlier today where I said, one of the things that we really have to do is take people to go see Dragonforce, not because it's your favorite band or not because, they're the best band in the world. All of those things could be true for a lot of people. And look, they've got Amaranthe, Nanowar, Steel, Edge of Paradise. It's a really heavy hit. It's a heavy loaded lineup, right? You can listen to any 4 of these bands for a full headline set and be totally fine, but there's all 4 of them. But you can take anybody to this tour from beginning to end. They're going to have fun. They're going to laugh. They're going to sing. They're going to cry. They're going to chant. They're going to dance. They're going to throw a stuffed chicken around. They're going to want to know, why is that guy putting together an IKEA table? Those are all questions you're going to ask. And it's the best time you've ever had this year. My name is Old School Nerd, and I was honored and privileged to see Dragonforce, Amaranthe, Nanowar of Steel, and Edge of Paradise for my birthday at the House of Blues in Houston, Texas on October 25th. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Wait, is that even a thing? I think it's the thing. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right there. Big thank you to all my Patreons out there. We appreciate everything you do. If you want more content like this video, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.